together. But have you noticed anything from the black team or the blue team that they might be doing wrong here, Collins?
They seemed a little bit unlucky. They actually were in the lead in the first lobby. It's just this one lobby that things didn't work out for them. So I'm actually not worried about them too much. I just think a lot of times when you see yourself in fourth position, sometimes the mental game can become so strong. And a lot of these players are streaming as well, right? Their chats are maybe making fun of them and things like that. So in tournaments like this, you have to sometimes forgo, whatever the chat is saying and just focus on your own game, focus on your teammates, and try to do the best you can through them.
All right, so we are going to get started now with lobby number 3. RDU once again finding a strong hero here with the Rafam. He has seemed relatively blessed by Bob so far, and he's going to pick up another strong one right off the bat.
Yeah, a lot of strong heroes look to be in this lobby. You got a Razorgore, you got Barov, Deathwing, Yogg, Millhouse. So this looks to be a lobby where no one's really getting scuffed, except maybe you could make an argument for Toki being a little bit unlucky sometimes.
Yeah, Elemental start as well, so RDU's going to unleash the forbidden tech, the turn 1 hero power. You a fan of this play with the Elemental in the opening shot?
He doesn't know. I would like it if he was against his opponent or something like that, but he actually doesn't know what this guy is going to be running, so kind of interesting. He will get lucky in that his opponent also has the exact same minion and with the same exact game plan, so it's going to work out for RDU here. And I think it's a good play, knowing that it's a tournament, you want to go for the highest chance to overkill your opponent.
Yeah, it's actually the perfect scenario, right? Not only does he take 0 damage for the greedy play, but he also now activates a pair super early on Rafam. So RDU's Gambit is absolutely going to pay out here, but we'll see the results of Syned's gamble on turn 1 here as well. And he does not hit, which is huge news, especially when he finds the pair of Elementals in the shop as well.
Yeah, really unfortunate for him. I think the first 2 gambles are the most important in that how it signifies how clean your early game is going to be, right? Because even if you start hitting the later gambles, if you're at like 20 HP, it's very difficult to make a play that you can scale off from. So most people don't hero power at once, so it's not that big of a drawback. It was just a free gamble.
Syned here going to go up against Uliek on the Deathwing. Should be a free win for him just by merit of the extra minion. The Deathwing would have needed a Divine Shield or Token Start to keep up with him here. So Syned at least is going to save himself some damage here on the second fight, but really wants to be hitting these gambles again in the early game. And this time he does hit. So it's actually a similar start to what we saw from the first lobby, where I believe out the first 2 bets, one was won and one was lost from the barrel we saw in the previous lobby.
Yeah, this isn't too bad. Kind of interesting that he decided to not buy the Swabby first and then level, right? Save himself a gold, but he's just hoping that he will use it next turn. It's kind of weird because you could have had the coin in his hand and not had to waste that or utilize that resource this early and waited for a more opportunity. So, but he decided to go for this play using the Swabby for the level up, and we'll see how it turns out for him.
Looks like a pretty powerful Yogg start here, though, so Syned is just starting to fall behind a little by merit of missing that 3 extra gold on turn 1. And going to take a little bit of extra damage for his troubles here.
Looks to be an aggressive start from Yogg. You can see he has 4 minions on the board. That's really only doable unless you get really good tokens. But from the minions, most of them being tier 1, you can see that he just stayed on 1 an extra turn and got that full board to punish the bear off there.
Habu Gabu having a decent-looking Millhouse start here, having hit 2 Elementals by the looks of things, which is kind of the dream with Millhouse early on. Very powerful minions that are essentially free because you can sell them for the 2 gold it costs to buy them with that character.
You can see that he does have the free reroll from the 1-3 that he probably did on turn 1. He's deciding whether he wants the token. He is going to buy the token and not play the pair. Okay, I was wondering what he was going to do here. He's doing this because he's against Deathwing and he knows that the minion he plays doesn't really matter. So he's just holding on to the pair. If he wasn't against Deathwing, I think he might have played it instead.
Yeah, I really like this decision. It means he ends up playing 2 3-1s instead of a 5-3, right? Which I think is particularly powerful against Deathwing. And you can see here Deathwing having hit the early Rat Pack harking back to the old days, Collins, where you just hit that Rat Pack early and just power leveled up. Deathwing's found it already, which is huge for the Deathwing. Going to force a tie here.
Yeah, that's extremely rare because it means that he leveled up to 3 the turn before and then rolled and hit the Rat Pack immediately. So it's a really good risky play. It's really good that it worked out for him. Otherwise, he would be extremely punished. And he's going to get another Beast roll. So he's in a good spot really now.
Yeah, that is pretty sick. How do you feel about Pack Leader on Deathwing? Because it can seem kind of redundant sometimes, right? The fact that your tokens are already getting buffed by the hero power anyway. You still a fan of it?
In Deathwing, it's definitely redundant in the early game because you don't need the extra stats. Your minions, your tokens will one-shot everything most of the time. But in the late game, it can be relevant. But usually, you want a Mama Bear to replace that.
Right. Yeah, but you kind of see the interesting dynamic of Deathwing, where he ended up just taking a 1-1 Divine Shield over a Pack Leader there, even though he had multiple beasts in play. But here you can see Habu Gabu just powering his way through a Millhouse turn, all about those breakpoints and gold efficiency. And it looks like Habu is trying to greed this South Sea Captain for a later level up.
Yeah, you can see he had the opportunity to buy it this turn, but didn't want a 4-drop. I think the 4 that would have really mattered would have been Gold Grubber, but it's not. Gold Grubber has been kind of falling off. It's not as dominant as it was in the previous meta, just because there's so much better scaling options nowadays. So, forego that option.
What has happened here? What is going on this Jandis board? This is just such a huge mishmash of random stuff. Has a little bit of the Rat Pack synergy there, as you can see, but currently no real benefit to the hero power, although replaying beasts over and over with the Pack Leader is something that they are able to do on the Jandis, I guess.
Probably uses hero power and hits things he didn't want and was like, well, I'm not selling this, so that's probably what's going on here.
Well, Alexis on the Jandis is going to take a hit from the Millhouse, and we'll see how greedy exactly Habu Gabu is planning to be with this South Sea Captain.
I think you always have to level here, right? If he wanted a 4, he would have done it last turn, so he was pretty much always leveling here. Him also being full life, he's also fighting his teammate. I wonder what his teammate's going to do as well. Oh, no, he's not fighting his teammates. But I do wonder what the Yogg is going to do against this. They're both full life, right? So they look to be the strongest in the lobby. But, ooh, what a nice roll for the Jandis here, finding 2 Bronze Wardens, and they were buffed from the 3/4 Dragon, as you can see.
Yeah, always nice when you hit a shot to sell the 3/4 into, where there's actually multiples that you want to buy, let alone if 2 of those have Divine Shield. That's a huge outcome for Alexis Diesel, and Jandis was looking kind of hopeless when we last saw Alexis, so that's a huge role to actually pull him back into this game now.
Yeah, massive turnaround for the Jandis here. Was looking struggling, but it looks like RDU has some surprises in store for us as well. Look at his pirate composition. We might be seeing a pirate game for once, but maybe not.
Yeah, I was actually watching RDU stream as he was warming up right before he kind of got into lobby for the tournament, and did actually win a game with Pirates on stream. Was very surprised to see that happen, so maybe he has been influenced a little bit.
I do think he has Pirates as a transitional unit, because you can see that he has the Mama Bear at the end. Probably will be utilizing that for his direction this game, but you know, it's nice to see Pirates doing something in the early game.
Nice work out there. Keep up the pressure.
So it looks like Rafam is gonna look for beasts. It looks like he doesn't have too much to go from there. He does see the Macaw. Maybe he will be thinking about buying that up in case he can get an early gold run. So he will be buying the Macaw. Probably will pick it up, and he wants the hero power here, so he'll play the Rat Pack and hero power it as well.
Yeah,
we'll see what
positioning is a little bit awkward here with the Macaw, right? Because you want to have the board space, but I guess having a Wind Fury minion up first means that you will almost always make that board space immediately. So you could just get a little bit less greedy with the Macaw, I guess, and go second here. What do you feel?
I mean, he's on 5 gold with a extremely powerful early game composition, right? So he might be able to even level up in the next following turns and just roll into the gold rune organically. So he's in a really good spot for 9 gold right now.
That is true.
Looks like he's playing against the Yogg here. Oh, the Yogg getting a massive snipe there. Probably the best hit he could have. Oh, well, except for the Mama Bear, of course.
Yeah, just outright smacking the Mama Bear itself would have been the best one, but that is a close second for sure. But now, yeah, you see the way things have lined out. That 2-2 Divine Shield taunt means that actually, surprisingly, the Pirate didn't end up dying to create any board space for that Parrot there. So things not going ideally for RDU this fight, but still, just the raw power of his board right now is going to be able to
His issue is he's too strong. You know, I don't think that's too big of a deal. He still gets a dominant win, smacking his opponent for almost 15 or so. So he should be in a fine position here.
Hanzo looks like he has just started setting up his actual Ragnaros turn. Just see the Sulfuras activated there. Does have a Bronze Warden that he can put on one of the edges, which is very, very nice for him. But the rest of his comp is looking a little bit scuffed right now.
Oh, I was thinking that he was deciding between the 7-3 to use as the second filler, but actually he's going for the Pirate synergy. Kind of surprising to me. I think he's banking on using the Direwolf, and he has a really interesting next turn, deciding if he wants to level up to get a nice 6, or we'll just continue going for a 5 and scaling from there.
Yeah, huge triple to roll into, honestly, because his comp does look a little bit directionless right now. With, you could say he has a little bit of a pirate direction, but I would say that's not necessarily a direction you want. But at least he is Ragnaros, so just his direction is just to AFK and build stats from this point, right? Which is the best thing in the world.
Pirates, they're coming back. You see RDU also using pirates.
Yeah,
there's a lot of pirate players, a lot of pirate aficionados here. Maybe we'll see a full pirate comp. You never know.
All right, we will wait and see. It looks like he is going to be going up against RDU himself on that refarm here, so we'll see how well RDU has scaled.
Keep up the momentum, friend.
I smell a shark.
Yo, Genie been added, and the Dire Horn been added as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's banking on the Genie working out for him this game as well, right? Maybe he finds a little rag and gets rid of all these beasts in his board. Definitely wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah, it gives him options, right? When he gets to tier 6, or if he discovers into a tier 6, if he hits the Great Wolf, he can stay beasts. If he starts hitting some of the powerful elemental scaling, he can go for that instead. I think he's in a really nice, flexible spot right now.
And this is what I was talking about, is spelling the shark. You can really see that RDU is here to punish typical Hanzo. Just probably going to smack him for all of his life right here. And he's already out this early into the game. 20 damage lethal.
Okay. I was like, I could not have counted that damage that quickly. I want to know if this guy's dead or not. But there we go. We get the confirmation, and now back to this crucial triple discover here for Habu Gabu, who we saw the triple South Sea captain on earlier, and now there's a triple Mama Bear coming down for a tier 6 discover here.
Yeah, it's really fascinating to see that there's so many beast comps and they're all still finding their triples. So he's got a really good direction here. The issue for this Billhouse right now is he has a little rag, he has a Nomi, he has a Jin on the board. He's really thinking to himself, do I really want this golden Mama Bear? Is it actually good?
Right.
Which is such a fascinating thing.
It is weird, right? Like, obviously it's getting played because he wants to discover, but it might just end up being sold for a bunch more elemental synergy here, because Habu Gabu definitely has the options to just go full into the elementals here if he really wants to.
I think the real critical thing is for the Mama Bear triple, if he hits a Goldrun. If he hits a Goldrun, he has the Baron in his hand already, and then he could commit. He's not even playing the Mama Bear this turn. He's just gonna hold it. Maybe he's fighting his teammate or something.
He is, yeah. RDU is on the refarm, so they're just trying to balance stats.
I'm worried for this player. I think he's underestimating how strong RDU is here right now. Or maybe RDU is not communicating that, oh, I am nuts, but we'll see how it turns out. Maybe the positioning can save him.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, but I also think, as you can see, RDU can kind of scuff his board to a good extent by moving the Parrot all the way after all the death rattles. Like, he's trying to just potentially get some Genie value out of it instead. And I think with this Rat Pack popping open now, but Habu Gabu has a lot of trades covered in a lot of positions here. So I think they've set this up actually pretty well.
I've got to say, they have been the best I've seen so far out of anyone in the tournament who's really good at synergizing how to position to make sure they both don't take an insane amount of damage. Very nice to see.
Yeah, that is very, very close. It's a shame for Habu Gabu that the Parrot is going to survive here, because that's a little chunk of extra damage that he might not have wanted, but it's a really tough kind of mini-game to play to actually try and engineer a tie between two Battlegrounds boards.
I think they easily could have been somewhat, either way could have taken 20 plus damage, so it's nice to see the mitigation there.
Completely agree. And now we're going to see Habu Gabu go through with this Mama Bear turn. Finds a Calicos. All right, I'm not Beasts anymore. I'm not Elementals anymore. We're going all the way over
still
into
taking.
Dragons.
Oh, wow. Okay. Disgusting.
Hello? What? You saw the reaction from Habu Gabu as well. That was absurd. 3 Hydras in 2 rolls with a Mama Bear on the board. That is insane.
Golden Mama Bear. So he's instantly getting a 30 attack cleave, like out of nowhere. So, disgusting right there. And he gets another 6 drop.
What's happening?
Well,
oh on this free
God.
Picks up the Amalgadon. This is one of the most illegal turns I have seen in a long time, Collins. What is happening? What?
Oh my God!
Get out! No! No! This is not okay!
This is so disgusting. Oh my, wow. Maybe the craziest turn I've seen in a really long time.
Does he even have time? Okay. Gets it through.
Oh my God. Look at his board at the beginning of the turn. And his board now. He was like maybe barely top 6, maybe top 4. Now he's like in the lead for sure.
And look at Salty's reaction to it as well. Like, look at what he has to play with here in comparison to the nonsense that he's up against. Disgustingly powerful turn from Habu Gabu.
I can't. That was such an insane turn. Holy moly, I cannot believe how strong. Sir Salty's even laughing about how ridiculous that board is. Oh my God, disgusting.
The thing is, Salty doesn't even know how disgusting that was, right? Like, if you could show him the board at the start of the turn and then the board he ended up fighting against, he'd be even more miserable. And look at this now!
Habu Gabu may just be the luckiest play I've ever seen. These rolls are so good for him.
This man is just a god. No one can stop him.
He sold his Amalgadon. Interesting. There, I believe it was it divine shielded or not? But probably liking the golden, definitely liking the golden Jin, definitely liking the Nomis and the rag scaling. So he's selling those units because he knows he's eventually going to have units that will outscale with the Nomi and the rag buffs.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I personally would like to just see this Nomi being held in hand to look for the triple. I'm not sure if he can really afford the board space for like 2 rags and 2 Nomis at the moment. What do you think?
He would have to sell. Okay, so he is going to do it. So he's a madman. But he does know that he has an insanely strong cleave. And that's probably the deciding factor in him being confident with this play, knowing that he has a 40 attack Hydra cleave. He's not really worried about losing the round. You can see the round before, he was dealing so much damage to his opponents. So probably went for the massive greed, the massive scaling. Probably won't be punished for it.
I have to ask the question as well, because he ended that turn with 1 gold remaining as Millhouse. I think whenever that happens, you have to ask efficiency questions. Did you spot anything that turn that maybe he could have used with that 1 gold?
He could have held a minion in his hand and had a clean gold. I think that was the real only extra difference he could have made. But he's in such a strong position, it really doesn't matter what he does. Like it's so broken. The turn he had, the turn before was just God giving him everything he needs to win the lobby, so he's taking it and running with it.
Yeah, I like this view we have right now of just watching everyone march into the Millhouse one by one and just die before his feet, because he is a god in this lobby right now.
Yeah. Looks like Janice is trying, but he's against Millhouse, so don't really think it matters what he pulls off. But let's see if he can find a way to make things work, because
yeah,
It's not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen. You can do the maths. He has +8/+8 on each of these beasts right now with single Wolf, single Baron. Not even close to the amount of stats that Habu Gabu is putting out.
Yeah, I think this is a good showcase of sometimes when you're playing your own battleground lobbies and then you see an opponent that looks extremely strong so quickly and you think to yourself, how did he get so strong? Well, these are the ways. They just get the blessing from the universe, giving him everything he needed, all the triples, all the plays to find the answer. So don't be surprised sometimes when people get those nuts rolls, because it can happen.
Wow, actually subs out his Mama Bear and then rolls it away. Just looked for an opportunity maybe to pick up the Poisonous Spore there, knowing that he's going up against Giant Elementals. But it's going to be the same story yet again. It's going to be someone looking miserable as they get absolutely smoked by this Giant Board State.
I think it's kind of a weird thing to swap out the Mama Bear. I think that was one of his only ways to deal with a board, right? Getting the extra buffs from the Mama Bears on the Death Battles with the Baron, but kind of a interesting decision there to swap it away. Not really sure what was going on in his head when he made that. Doesn't matter though.
I mean, very little he could have done mattered against the power level of Habu Gabu, but obviously Habu Gabu and his teammate RDU are both still alive here.
Oh wow, another top first and second for Habu Gabu and RDU, really dominating now, starting a streak for themselves.
All right, let's see what RDU has been doing while we've been salivating over Habu Gabu's boarding. Yep, no, that looks pretty much the same thing that we're seeing coming out from Habu Gabu. Both of them have just absolutely nutted the elementals this game, it looks like. Both scaling with Rag plus Nomi. RDU just doing it to slightly less disgusting degrees with just a single copy of each.
Yeah, he would need everything to have poison, really, to have a chance. He does have a big Gar. Maybe that does something for him. And he is fighting against his teammates, so he probably doesn't really care how it ends up for himself. But it's nice to see both of them working together. They had both the same clan. Both of them went elementals, and both of them got top 2 in positioning. So good to see.
And this does, I think, still seem to be a bit of a formality as it comes down to the final fight. But what a performance so far in the early lobbies from these two players. We were building them up, saying that they should have the synergy, they should have the communication. I think it would be a bit of a fallacy to say, yeah, it's clearly their communication that's winning in these lobbies and not just these insane elemental boards that they're putting together between the two of them. However, they have done a great job at engineering those ties in clutch situations, as we were talking about before.
Yeah, a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, a little bit of determination, you know. So everything working out for them so far. They seem to be the dominant players in these lobbies so far. But we'll see how things turn out. It's actually a lot closer than you would think from first glance. If they can get rid of the that cleave, he's in a decent spot. It's actually wow.
Yeah. As soon as the Myexna did not hit the Gar, I think RDU was just colossally favored there. Like, I think, honestly, that fight was probably just pretty close to 50-50. It is straight up dependent on where the Myexna went, left or right, because he just did not have the stats to be able to compete there.
I am impressed. I thought this was hopeless for RDU here, but RDU is finding a way to turn it around. We'll see if he can actually land it. I think at this point, maybe it's now time to get rid of those Nomis, right? They're not going to be as strong as everything. So this might be his final turn, might be a time to get rid of the Nomis and see if he can pull anything off from there.
Yeah, I think this is the number one mistake that a lot of people do make, is that I think it's even correct to sell Nomi maybe a little bit earlier than this, since you do have that golden little rag scaling anyway. Like, I know it seems weird to say, but that's just kind of how high roll this lobby has been. A 25-25 is just not really good enough right now, right? Like, you just want to replace it with a much bigger minion.
He could sell the Nomi, play the minion to get an extra refresh instead of using 2 Godok. So he is going to do that.
Yep, I like that.
Yeah, now he has one more reset. So he didn't find any elementals. So a little bit unfortunate. He does still have a much stronger board than he had before, and you can really see the determining factor probably going to be how the poison hits.
Yeah. Come on, just put the Myexna first and smoke the Gar. Come on, you know you want to. That's the believer's play.
Yeah, that would actually be way better if he put the poison first. Actually, so
Wow,
that is a good point.
It certainly was on this board, but last time Habu Gabu saw, there was a second taunt, so I think that's what he was kind of setting up, as like trying to kill the second taunt first and have the Maexna clean. But the way it panned out, yeah, absolutely would have been insane. Or the Maexna to go first, but it doesn't matter because too many stats were gained in the interim, and that's going to be a massive game-ending hit for Habu Gabu. But the big story here is, once again, RDU and Habu Gabu taking down a 1 and 2 in lobby number 3, Collins. Well, crushing performance from these two players so far.
Yeah, you can really see that they're doing really well finding the place to make it at top 2. They had a lot of good synergies, orchestrating those ties and taking the least amount of damage when they were both extremely strong. But it's nice to see, that a lot of people kind of look at Battlegrounds and they say, oh, it's kind of hard to guarantee getting first and second. It's a lot of high rolls, people kill you or things like that. But you can see in these tournaments that people that are playing well consistently are getting first, consistently are getting second. You can really see the dominance being showed here by RDU and Habu Gabu.
Yeah, and we've just got to take, I think, one more time just to shout out how disgusting that turn was from Habu Gabu in the middle of that game. Plays a Golden Mama Bear, triples a Golden Hydra in the same turn, and then hits Golden Jin at the same time. Like, absolutely insane stuff, and a big, big part of the reason why Habu Gabu and RDU really... Already at this point, you could almost say they're feeling kind of secure in top 2 because third place is currently so far behind them with the performances that they've put in.
I mean, as soon as you start feeling confident, that's when things can hit you, right? If the results were opposite, right, they would be behind, So there's only been 3 lobbies. There's 5 more to play. So if they start slacking off in these last 5 lobbies, they could go from first to last. So I wouldn't be feeling confident right now. You're feeling okay about your positioning, right? But you gotta keep on the gas, keep hitting those heroes, keep getting those triples out of nowhere in one turn, and keep up that consistent performance.